Hello and welcome to the world of Lesson Plan Toolbox. I am Lauren Zweig and I'm the founder of Lesson Plan Toolbox, where we support primary teachers in mastering classroom management. However, we also organize a Mastering Classroom Management book club group that's run through Facebook, and it is for teachers of all grades, of all ages, of all subject areas. So inside our Facebook group, as the year is winding down, we pose the question, what issues are you seeing happening in your classrooms right now as we're winding down the school year? And oh boy, did the comments start coming in. So we told teachers in our book club group, we're going to start making little nuggets of videos to kind of help support them as they're winding down the school year and give them some strategies that maybe they already know and just need a refresher on, or maybe they're just brand new strategies that they haven't tried yet in their classroom. So let's dive into our first strategy, or our first classroom behavior scenario. I don't like using the word problem. So classroom behavior scenario, and then we'll provide the strategies that we're going to suggest to help guide this teacher. Okay? So forgive me if you see me use my notes, but I just want to make sure I touch on all the points that will help this teacher. So here was her situation. She said her biggest issues are the whining, the crying, the tantrum behaviors, and also her students yelling back and forth at each other across the classroom. As I read this, and as I'm saying this out loud even more so, I can tell you, I can feel the level of frustration that this teacher is probably feeling in her classroom day in and day out. And I promise you that this is not easy to live with day in and day out. So we're going to give you some strategies here that will hopefully get you started. If you become a member of the Mastering Classroom Management for primary teachers, if you join our membership, we dive much deeper into the support. These are just short nugget videos to kind of get you started. So first and foremost, you want to take a second and reflect on, where do you think this is coming from? Are the tantrums and the whining, has it been happening all school year, or has it just started now? Or are you to a point in the school year where, yes, it's been happening and you've tolerated, and now you're just like, if I hear this child whine one more time, I might have to pull my hair out, right? So pay attention to where it's coming from. It could also be that your students are at that point in the year where they're like brothers and sisters, right? They kind of get on each other's nerves. So pay attention to where the trigger comes from. Once you can kind of pinpoint where that trigger is coming from, then it's time to look at, okay, we need to focus on helping our students regulate these big emotions, okay? Yes, whining might not seem like a big deal, but I promise you, even when I've been in preschool classrooms, the whining should not be happening. They're in a school classroom setting. It is okay to expect your students to behave appropriately. You do not have to coddle them and accept the whining. You can say, when you're ready to use your words and you're ready to act like a first grader, or if you're ready to act like a kindergartner, then I'm ready to listen to you. That's okay to give them that expectation, right? You don't have to feed into the whining. The other thing you're going to want to do is to explicitly teach calming strategies. So what does this look like? And this is probably not new, but I promise you teachers hear this and they don't necessarily take action. This would be like deep breathing strategies. If you don't know any, Google it, you will find plenty. This would be things like having just that stress ball. I can't even tell you, just giving them that stress ball and letting them squeeze that, how much it just brings down their emotional levels, okay? So keep those in mind. Those are just two quick strategies that you could try to utilize. Again, if you join the membership, we get in much deeper into these strategies. We're trying to keep these videos about 5 to 6 minutes, so I'm gonna kind of keep going here. When it comes to the yelling between students, again, look at the root issue. Is it something that's been building up, or do you think it could be something more and your students simply don't have the skill set to understand how to communicate appropriately, right? Maybe they're used to always getting things their way, and when they don't get their way, they don't know how to process the saying no, or the what do I want to say? Not just the saying no, but they don't know how to process not getting their own way, right? Not being right. That's what I meant to say. They don't understand how to process not being right. And this is where, again, you can come in and you can be that role model and intervene and say, you know what? How about we use statements that, for example, you might say something like, I feel blank when you blank, right? I feel very angry when you are not listening to my side of the story. Or I feel very angry when everyone is leaving me out of the game. Get them to use those I statements, right? Don't let them put the behavior on the other people involved. Really have them focus on what is their role in this situation. And you are going to have to kind of be that guide on the side and process them through coming to that compromise. Okay. Again, role playing these strategies in the classroom, such a great way to do this. This last part is not going to be new, and you're probably going to hear me say this in every video, but consistency is the key to turning things around. You have to be consistent and very clear with your expectation and your system of consequences. If you are saying this is the consequence, it does not matter who did the behavior or how the behavior came about. You have to follow through with administering the consequence. It doesn't have to be a harsh punishment. It has to be some type of consequence. If you'd want to do restorative consequences, that works just fine. But you have to follow through and be consistent every single time. Okay, finally, really talk to people, talk to your colleagues, talk to your administrators. What I love in our membership, you gain immediate access to our student behavior scenario of the day cards. And the third page of every single day are teacher suggestions, where we guide you through, if this happens in your classroom, here's how you can handle it. I love it. Teachers have been loving it who have used the cards already. So it's just a great way to say, these are the steps that I've taken, but this behavior is still happening. And because you're being proactive, your administrator is more likely to help you figure out, okay, what are our next steps, right? It might be that you bring the school counselor in at this point of the year and she gives your class strategies, or he gives your class strategies on how to work as a team, okay? You have to kind of treat your class as a family, and you are the authority, you're the parent figure, they are your children. And as crazy as it is to think about it, you really want them to get that sense of family feeling. It's going to really shift how they treat each other and how they treat you, okay? It's okay to be an authority figure. I know so often you want to be their friends, and you know, you don't necessarily want to come down as the heavy, but you're going to make it to the end of the school year. It's okay to give them consequences, and it is okay to step back and look at those rules you came up with in August, or look at your classroom contract that you came up in August and have the discussion with, where are we lacking right now? What do we need to improve on as a whole class? Get that whole sense of community, culture, and bring it home, right? hit it home, hit it out of the ballpark. Tell them that you love them every single day. And yes, it could be tricky at this point of the school year. Trust me, I get it. It's a tricky profession to begin with. And at this point in the school year, it can get even trickier, but you're going to do awesome. Okay. We are here to support you. So feel free to leave comments on this video if you have any other suggestions for teachers, or if you yourself want us to cover any other topics. Okay. We should be back next week with more strategies to help you on your way to a successful end of the school year. But remember, consistency is the key.